story that I have on repeat is that I didn't really understand why all these people were doing these like long surveys or just really spending a lot of time to earn a digital cow. I didn't understand it at the time.
So here we are at Gamescom. Sarah, can I say it's a joy because here we are. It was Mao. Now it's Gamescom. Do you feel like you're in your element here, by the way? I mean, that was Mao. That was like advertisers and brands. This is games. So you feeling like you're, in space here?
Definitely a huge show compared to Mao. Just seeing all of the gaming brands out here reaching out to consumers and having that piece of the show is pretty wild. I just came back from China Joy and experienced something very similar where you have a B2B section and BDC section, and these halls are continuous, long, lots of people, pretty exciting.
Massive show. Wait till it hits 200,000 total by the weekend.
Oh my.
Because that's what happens here. But what's really interesting is the activity at the intersection of games and brands. I've watched it for a while. So have you throughout your career. But now it's really happening. It really is happening. I have an interview with Purina, right? So dog and cat food, fuzzy, cute things in games. Now that's got to be a fit, right? So that's not a stretch. But, seeing these companies getting into games and seeing that activity, I mean, at Xsolla, this is not new for you, but for seeing this in a European games event, it's like, yeah, it has arrived. It has arrived. What is it about brands and games that, if you had to, just to like explain why it's beyond gaming? I know why, but for our audience, what that intersection holds.
I think for brands, a lot of reasons for them to go after a broader strategy. You have a lot of must-buys out there in performance marketing, like Facebook and Google.
Yeah.
And you think about how to extend to some harder to reach audiences or some more engaged audiences, and how do you bridge the gap between building a relationship with the actual end user? And so what we've heard a lot of from brands that we've worked with in the past, like Procter & Gamble, we've thought about how to just bridge them with an actual reward to the user. So making sure that we're interacting with that user, we're giving them something of value. So in an Offerwall environment, we're having them make a purchase of something like a Crest toothbrush. And once they've done that, they've now earned a reward to continuously play in their game. They feel good because they continue in the game.
Yeah.
And now they have a relationship with Crest that they didn't have before with a strong sentiment. So we think about brand sentiment in a way to just reach that user in a new light and create a relationship.
And because it's like that Offerwall, it's like that feeling of choice, as well as that you're in charge of your experience. I think that's really powerful for brands because they want to have connection. They're not thinking about, admon is what they're thinking about, right? They're thinking about connection, and that's what happens there. And you bring up Procter & Gamble, and oddly enough, I was checking out the companies that I'm doing interviews with, and I was like, this is pretty wild. So the German equivalent of Procter & Gamble, which is Henkel, so they're doing an activation, which is really interesting, that it's about hair color. And of course, why not have pink, purple, green hair to match your favorite characters in a game? I mean, it's so natural. So you're seeing this creativity and this idea, and you can easily imagine how that would work in. That's a great experience. Make it a rewarding experience, right?
Absolutely. So if you think about them really reaching out to their target audience, which is looking at characters and imagery and cartoons and things like that. So making that connection makes total sense to me. And making it very targeted and fun and playful. That's what I think a lot of brands are aiming to do when they think about how to reach out to different gaming companies. We saw a wide variety of brands being involved at China Joy. Saw car companies just with wrapped cars. I saw a Stitch themed car out there, which I thought was just another way to just keep it really fun and light for users. And this is just different ways that brands are thinking about how to connect with that audience.
Again, you're working with so many brands. You see the good ideas. Give me one.
I love thinking about brands really trying to engage users through gamification, whether that's earning or whether that's interacting or whether that's just trying to get to the next level, even within the brand experience. And I think that there's a lot that can be done there. I love hearing that brands are coming up with their own gaming and maybe engagement and different ways that they can reach out to users. That's really encouraging to me. And I do think that we've been encouraging people to think about branding as a brand-formance, and focusing on that. Thinking about brand dollars are not often tracked down to the unique user, or tracking their return on ad spend as we do in digital marketing.
Right.
So thinking about shifting your traditional billboard marketing or your television commercial marketing into something that's more measurable, quick turnaround, and almost in real time. So that's how I would think about it if I were at a brand trying to reach gaming companies.
Are they thinking about awareness, or are they thinking deeper funnel?
It can be both.
Yeah.
If you think about the awareness that you get on a traditional television, you're looking at like a brand lift or some sort of study that would tell you it was successful.
Right.
If you think about it as a brand-formance campaign, you might use some of that money, but also have it track back to your actual MMP tracker or traditional tracking company that would be able to tell you what your return on was. It's kind of how we're approaching it with brands at Xsolla.
Yeah.
Is like, think about your brand strategy and think about what kind of performance you'd like to see from it. And you can meld those metrics together and still have something to show for it at the end of the day.
You can almost do like A/B testing with products, and there's a lot of possibilities there, because I'm choosing what I want to reward myself because I earned it, right?
Absolutely.
So are they doing that? Is that part of the metrics, or is that just evolving? Because for me, that would be even almost as exciting as understanding, how I can get to a conversion, because this is giving me intelligence as well as as well as impact and outcome.
Yep, we see user choice being a big part of the Offerwall. There's a lot of different things that a user can do as a user of the Offerwall. You can select something really low friction that won't take you very much time. That might be installing an app that you're interested.
Okay.
You'll get a small amount of currency, but when you lean a little bit more towards a higher friction offer, you're going to get more currency out of it.
Okay.
One partner that we're working with is Paramount Plus, so the user will be getting a lot of currency to continue in their game if they subscribe to Paramount Plus, which I think is pretty exciting for the user, because not only are they accelerating in their game, but now they have a new subscription service that they can look forward to consuming content with later in the day.
And it's going to fit because it's entertainment.
Absolutely.
And games are entertainment, so that really fits.
We have, when I think about brands and games, like the convergence of it, I think of like a lot of like the IP movies that come out.
Yeah.
Some of the blockbusters every year that use games to try to drive engagement with those movies. And we think about it the same way for the Offerwall. We're always trying to think about new ways to present us as a fun way to engage with the user. And a lot of it is about user sentiment from our side. So how will that user feel about you as a company after you've helped sponsor their way to their next level, to their next gameplay? And there's a lot of creative different ways to do that, but it could be registering for a movie ticket, or it could even be taking a survey about their sentiment about a brand. So lots of different ways to connect with those individual brands or products.
How do you keep that going? Because once I have a good experience, it's one thing to say, okay, I'll go back, I'll check out the Offerwall, but you sort of want to elevate that, because when I think about Xsolla, I'm thinking about you very much as being at the center of what we called before and is now happening, G-commerce, right? Games commerce, because that's what it's about. And it has so many different levels, and it becomes almost like a virtual mall if you do it right. And you do have a lot of products. So how do they come together to create a more lasting experience or a more lasting impression?
I think for users, it's about variety. And one of my challenges is creating the right amount of variety for users, where we keep it really interesting. We make sure we have something for everybody.
Right.
Gamers are universal in my mind. When I think about the different genres that play, I always say that everybody's a gamer. Everybody's got something that they like, and I have to think about creating an advertising experience for users that's diverse in nature. I want people, when they come to the Offerwall, to be excited about what they're seeing, ready to engage with a brand, ready to engage with an exciting, fun brand that they like and that they know. So that's what we're focused on.
to create that excitement, it's a little bit of both partners. And I'll be talking to another part of Xsolla that works with the publishers. But, at some level, it feels a little bit like you have to be the connector. I mean, I know, Sarah, that you are by nature. So you have to bring them together. It's almost like having them speak the same language to start.
Yes. And when we think about the originating game or the publishers, they also get very excited to see brands within their game. They want also the same variety. They want to create a really good user experience for the users.
Yeah.
They want it to be positive in nature. They want the users to feel good about how they've earned their virtual currency or their points. We do spend a lot of time trying to understand what they'd like to see coming out of that, and how can we even accelerate that? How can we take a brand that's running in the Offerwall and potentially even pull a larger sponsorship into the game itself? So these are things that Travis and I think about quite a bit. And so more to come there.
We'll be seeing an interesting case study then, I think, is
what I'm
feeling.
So. Absolutely. I mean, I think for us, creating that rewarding experience for the user, like we always think about it as a value exchange. How much of your time are you willing to spend as a user? Is it worth it? Are you excited about it once you've made the purchase, or you've interacted, or you've downloaded the app?
Right.
And we're always thinking about those experiences and that environment for that user, because we really want them to have good sentiment with the brand.
Yeah.
And really feel strongly about that sponsorship and that next level.
I mean, you're seeing so much when I think about G-commerce and your portfolio of offers and how they can come together. So I imagine, I don't know this, I'm just finding out the more I find out and get excited about what's at the intersection, but I imagine you're giving a lot of that data and insights back. I mean, what can I learn about the experience so I can do a little bit of wash, rinse, repeat, and improve, depending, so that I make the Offerwall or I make the whole portfolio really work for me as a brand? What am I getting back from Xsolla?
A lot of the data that will come back will come from the new customers that they receive. So they spend a lot of time. We'll encourage them to spend a lot of time interacting with those brands and with those users, and trying to understand what the experience was like. You mentioned something earlier about putting the multiple products in. Are they a repeat user?
Cool.
Do they come back and do that experience again?
Yes.
And our feeling is if it was a good one the first time, they definitely will. And that's why we want to create those experiences that are seamless for the user, that are easy to track, and that keep them coming back.
And also elevating the experience, because then you understand it. You don't want to come back. You don't want fries with your fries, right? You want something more interesting, a little bit more different. Recommendations. Are you moving in that direction? Because that's exciting.
Definitely will be on the Offerwall when we think about personalizing the experience on a per publisher and potentially per user level down the road. Offerwall is somewhat of a new product for us, but we do think about how to make it the best. It's a three-pronged approach for us, so it's always the initial developer, the advertiser, and the user being one of the most important pieces of the puzzle. And how do we connect those three in a way that's just rewarding for all three? When everybody walks away, they feel good about the experience.
Offerwall has come so far.
Hasn't it?
It has. When I think about this, I think about before, it was first of all, it was flat, it was boring, it was predictable. It isn't that anymore.
I totally agree. I started in the Offerwall in 2009.
Yeah, I was going to say something like that. I was like 2010-ish.
Yeah, we were putting Offerwalls in Farmville and Facebook. And it was a great experience for us, having it be an industry that we weren't unsure of. But very quickly, the revenue, the interaction, the user engagement was so strong that we knew we had something big. And my story that I have on repeat is that I didn't really understand why all these people were doing these like long surveys or just really spending a lot of time to earn a digital cow. I didn't understand it at the time, but the more and more you spend time in gaming and you understand the user motivation and the and I think it's gotten much bigger, like the digital goods and just thinking about items and things that people earn in games being really important to them. And to me, that's a sentiment that I've now taken on and has helped me explain to brands why this is an area of focus and why it's something that everybody should have a strategy around.
And it's more exciting now than it's just, another game to download or some sort of virtual thing. I mean, now it can be a lot. And these experiences, they have to be holistic. That's what we're hearing so much about,
Yes.
And brands can get involved, and they don't have to be intrusive. That's the other point.
Yes.
This is part of the experience. So it's not like, this is really weird. What's this company doing here,
Yeah, and it is, when you think about advertising in general, some people think it's annoying, or sometimes you've learned to ignore a certain banner size on a web page. But for Offerwalls, the user's somewhat seeking it out. They're seeking that interaction. They go to an Offerwall. They elect to go there, and when they do, they're browsing around. It's really non-intrusive, and a lot of users have reported. We've done a lot of research in the past. Reported how much they enjoy the experience and how much they appreciate the opportunity to earn the virtual currency. So that user sentiment is obviously pretty important. And then just thinking about that, the holistic piece of it, we really want to create opportunity for users to just have those experiences and just really appreciate what they're doing while they do it.
I mean, I don't want to say what's next necessarily, but I want you to play with me because we've been in this for so long. So,
Yes.
the digital cow to now, right? Here we are and where this can go. I mean, share with me a little bit about where you see this going, or maybe a little bit of an idea of how Xsolla is bringing it all together, because that direction, that's going to be exciting. That's going to be bigger than the sum of the parts.
Yeah, I think the future holds a lot when it comes to the user control and the user reward, and also brands entering the space. To me, 10 years ago, it was really hard to get a brand's attention when it came to this rewarded experience. And we were in mobile back then too, so we had like a very kind of like a crossroads between, hey, we want you to think about gaming and also
think about mobile.
Think about mobile at the same time. I heard the year of mobile, 150 times a year from 2009 to 2014, and then it finally started to come to fruition. But I do feel like that there's much more of a focus on gaming these days. And
Absolutely.
You have crossover apps like Duolingo that are household names, more popular, that are bringing more of a brand focus to users and how users are interacting every day. I think gaming became more wildly popular during the pandemic, which just put more eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
So, our thought process on moving forward with branding is getting it out there more, being one of those platforms that that can be accessible to brands in a way that can really help them build a relationship with users and gamers.
That's true, because I think they got frightened, because I used to be on the board of the MMA, and so it was like, I don't want to do an activation in Roblox. I don't have the team for that. It's like, well, you can sort of get involved and check it out. And I mean, I don't know if you were at Possible. I was at Possible, and gaming was a big topic. So it was like, how do we get involved, and how do we do this step by step in a way that will bring the company to this way of thinking, but do it in a way that's very sort of practical and results oriented. Just jumping out there, and I don't want to name the brands and shame them, but like just jumping out there and doing a Halloween party in Roblox is not a strategy.
Yeah. And I think you make a good point. Like having brands enter the space in a way that's not intrusive for them, where they're going to get return. For us as an advertiser, the Offerwall is very low risk, because you're really only paying when you get to that point of conversion, whether that's a quick point of conversion or a full purchase or subscription. So, and then we can provide a lot of data about what the users were into and how successful they thought the reward was, and work with the brand on making adjustments where needed.
And then they can go deeper, it's like you can have the product and maybe the experience. So like in some cases, it's like, you'll have this product, but then you'll meet, this influencer, like in real life, you can have an experience weekend with the band or something. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I could see K-pop. I could do that.
K-pop is actually, when we were at our last Offerwall company, the K-pop users were one of our favorite publishers. The voters in those apps became a big publisher for us, and the interaction there. If we thought that the excitement over the digital cow was crazy, this was next level excitement.
Yeah.
So lots of different use cases for where we can see Offerwalls in the future.
Absolutely. And we'll have fun watching it evolve and me watching you evolve as well. Sarah, thanks so much again.
Thank you, Peggy.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.